What Justice Investor does is completely different than what anyone else does in the crowdfunding or fintech space. We are the world's first justice fintech company. And what that means is, for the first time, we are creating an asset class that relates to social justice. And people can now invest in social justice as an asset for a return. So you're getting a chance to not just do something really good that changes the world and improves people's lives, but you also have the potential of getting an upside in which you get a return on your investment. Any of the other sort of typical asset class investments, housing stock, dot-coms, shoes and so forth, are purely commercial. And any other sort of social justice platform is about donating. Here we've been able to marry the two and create a marketplace for justice, and no one is doing that. Justice Investor is incredibly disruptive. And I think globally we all recognize the problem of inequality. What we haven't been able to do is solve the problem of inequality. The problem of inequality in the justice system has been entrenched for hundreds of years. And what this moment allows us to do is use technology and financial technology in a brand new way and apply it to the Byzantine world of law. Getting people who hate change to change is not easy. And what Justice Investor has been able to do and to take on is convince lawyers, who tend to be not particularly innovative. They're innovative in their arguments, but not innovative in what they or how they do what they do. And get investors to be innovative in seeing a role for them to play in justice. So I think the biggest challenge we had is to take on a pretty stodgy environment and say, you can be modern, you can actually solve problems that have been unsolvable for so long, and you do it very quickly and at a grand scale at this particular moment. That was the biggest challenge. And I think because the challenge was so great, the risks were so high, the outcomes have been superlative. Both the UK and the US are grappling passionately with inequality. Both are grappling with the power and potential of technology. They're doing it in remarkably different cultural spaces. It's quite different, but we're trying to get to the same place. What I would say is particularly exciting about the passion for entrepreneurship and innovation in the UK, it comes at the time where, for example, there's been massive cuts in legal aid. Our solution could not have been at a better time, because we're a platform in which social justice cases, like cases that deal with veterans' benefits, people with disabilities and so forth, have a chance to be funded by the private market. So in that spirit, we're able to maximize a moment of some tension in the UK by bringing together lawyers, investors, and passionate advocates that wouldn't have been possible without this particular moment, both in terms of the growth of entrepreneurship, the laws that have changed to permit us to do this kind of thing, and the passion for change. That same passion we have in the United States. It just exercises itself in a different way. And I think that if I would give a plug for both sides of the Atlantic, for the United States, there's always been this notion of reinvention, in which you seize the moment and you're an early adapter. In the UK, there's a commitment to history and how things have been done. And innovation tends to be below the radar. It's happening, but you don't necessarily want to appear to be out front. But it's still happening. And I think managing the cultural differences has been quite enjoyable as I've done this. FinTech Connect Live operates exactly as I see Justice Investor operates. What we are is a marketplace that brings together activists, low-income people, disenfranchised groups, with people with the ability to invest in social justice, high net worth individuals, institutions, and so forth. Because we don't see that there's a battle between these two. We see this as a way in which you can braid what you're trying to do together to create a better world. FinTech Connect is trying to do exactly the same thing. It's taking an innovator, a startup, someone with a good idea but not necessarily a lot of resources, and putting them together with people or institutions that have massive amount of resources. That's exactly the perfect marriage between Justice Investor and FinTech Connect Live.